September 14th, 2021, this is the day when the brand new NXT 2.0 launched, and you know what? It's absolutely fine. Given that these days WWE wants to use NXT as like a funnel to get guys on the main roster, this is probably the way to go about it. Because let's face it, it wasn't really working before, now was it? The problem comes in the form of what we had left behind and all the flipping work that went into that. Because yeah, Vince McMahon has basically erased Triple H's legacy. Why? Here's why. Before we do get into this, I want to send positive thoughts and healthy thoughts to Triple H because, of course, he is still recovering from a cardiac event, or at least that's all we know so far. And as we are here, I'm just going to steal the video for a few seconds and say I loved Hunter Hearst Helmsley when I was a kid. He was one of my favorites. He inspired me to go to the gym. And I know there's plenty of other conversations that we can have, but we have had them. I always thought he rocked. Right, we've done that, so let's move forward, or kind of move back to what I was saying just a few seconds ago. Because on September the 14th, 2021, when NXT 2.0 did launch, the week before that is when Triple H or Paul Levesque went through this horrible event. Now, of course, these two things aren't tied together at all, but given what the brand new NXT is and given what NXT used to be, it does raise the question, well, where on earth does Hunter Hearst Helmsley fit into all of this? And it's a perfectly reasonable thing for a fan to ponder because this was his creation and my word did he give a damn about it. I mean, all those amazing NXT takeovers we had over the years, the way he went out there and got some of our favorite independent wrestlers and put them essentially on WWE TV. And while we're all quick to jump on things and give them a kicking, there was a point in this crazy thing we called life where NXT was the coolest wrestling promotion on the planet. I won't even hear an argument against it. The thing is, what he could be potentially returning to has nothing to do with him, and it's no longer in his image. You'd have to presume that this war with AEW is what forced Vince McMahon's hand, making him go, well, we need to change the direction, pal, which is what we've got right now, or multicolours. Because do not forget, back in 2019, NXT was meant as an obstacle to All Elite Wrestling, whereas now it's a production line for Raw and SmackDown. That is quite the shift. So it does pose a lot of unanswered questions, but really we can go all the way back to February 2019 when eyebrows started to be raised. Because if you were watching that night's Monday Night Raw, you will know from nowhere Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Aleister Black and Ricochet were just called up, leaving Triple H to go, well, wait a minute, I didn't sign off of this, and I have stories I need to finish. What the flum am I meant to do now? And this seemed clear on TV as well, because of course there was no plan. WWE just needed something, so why not take 4 of NXT's best? And this is when evidence did start to form that maybe, just maybe, the business relationship between Hunter and McMahon wasn't as rosy as we all thought it was. Because the son-in-law now had to just get rid of what he wanted to do, whereas the father-in-law, well, he didn't even have a plan to begin with. I mean, that is a far cry away from the whole, well, nobody's going to get called up until we've got 6 months of story in the can. Forget the story, there wasn't even a damn can. The whole reason we got to this point is because there was a buzz around NXT, hence when AEW got their TV deal, NXT was also moved to television. I know, I've heard it 1,000 times. NXT was always on Wednesday nights. Come on, man, if you want to die on that hill, you're more than welcome to. But it's a really silly thing to do. This was all about competition, which is also more than fine. You're in charge of the promotion, you're in charge of the company. If you think this is going to better you, you have to do how you see fit. It was just silly because competition is the best thing for wrestling. However, when all of this is in your brain, if you want to start hypothesizing that Vince McMahon jumped on this far quicker than he would have done otherwise, because there was corners of the earth that were like, boo, McMahon, but yay, Triple H, well, I'm just going to let those words muster and let you come up with your own opinion. But hey, sometimes there's no smoke without fire. I mean, look at it this way. What other weekly TV show undergoes such a 180 as NXT did? If you had started watching on September the 7th and then tuned in 7 days later, you would have thought you would have missed the memo. You would have thought you were having some kind of aneurysm, but there were neither of these. One day just went poof and everything was different. Because as soon as the House of Cards had fallen, we took the horse out the back and we shot it in the head. I mean, this happened far too quickly. There wasn't even an ounce of respect for the past lost, or what Triple H had built. So for once, this actually did deserve more time to see how it was going to play out, which was always the line that would be thrown out of there. And once again, I want to double down on the fact, do not forget that Triple H was crazy passionate about this. Go and listen to any conference call he did before a takeover. He believed in all of this, and I bet he believed he could turn it around. How he fits into this landscape is going to be the talk of the town when he does come back to wrestling, but let's just take a moment to remind myself none of that matters, and actually all that does matters is his health and his well-being, and once again, I really hope he's okay. And also, if this is the last we see of his version of pro wrestling, well, I, for one, want to say that it was damn awesome, and if it hadn't have been a soldier in a war, well, who even knows what we would have been talking about right now. And there's every chance, of course, that if NXT 2.0 doesn't work, you can see an amalgamation of the two. I can totally see Triple H doing wonders for someone like Bron Baker, because again, Triple H has all the experience in the world. But come 12 months or 24 months, we're probably not going to be talking about the old NXT anymore, apart from the way that I'm doing it now, which does mean, yes indeedy, Vince McMahon kinda did kill Triple H's legacy, and he did it so damn fast. I do hope I'm wrong with this and Paul Levesque does have a huge say in proceedings, so he can sprinkle his magic dust all over it. But isn't it just mad? Isn't it just crazy? We were talking about Adam Cole versus Karrion Kross over yesterday, and now neither of those people are with the company anymore. Then there's the whole story of Keith Lee. It truly does boggle the brain. I don't think I'm ever going to understand it. Before I do leave you today, I wanted to share some of my own personal NXT highlights. Everything with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, which was just tremendous. That time Ricochet flipped over the top rope and landed on his feet like he was some kind of alien. And of course, when Keith Lee became the North American and the NXT champion, when that happened, I felt so warm and fuzzy in my tum-tum. I was like, well, there he is, the future best star of Raw, SmackDown, and all of WWE. And do not get me wrong, it was not his fault, but I've already talked about it. And, the debut of Shinsuke Nakamura when he was taking on Sami Zayn as well. But this, going back to everything we said in the video, is why it's good to do the whole Men in Black flashy thingy and just delete it from your brain, because then we don't have to start crying about all this spilt milk. And I don't know about you, but I am done crying, and I am done shedding tears, and I am done cutting onions when it comes to professional wrestling. Happens too damn much. Now, please do leave a comment below and let us know a bunch of stuff. 1, what did you think about the old NXT? 2, what did you think about NXT 2.0? And 3, what do you believe the future of NXT to be? Then like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Head on over to whatculture.com, where, believe you me, we will keep you up to date with all of these stories. Also, please do follow us on social media, because it's 2021 and that's what we do when we have a ton of videos. I dare you to watch them all. I don't think it's possible. My name is Simon from What Culture. Thank you for joining me as always. And do not forget, as I am saying these words, recently Kyle O'Reilly and Johnny Gargano had a dark match on SmackDown, and you'd have to believe we did do that so that Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard and Johnny Ace could look at them and decide, well, are we going to put them on Raw or are we going to leave them on Friday nights? Meaning, if they decide no and they go back to Wednesdays, there may not be a place for them. And do you want to live in that world? I know I don't. So we watch this space. I just really, really hope somebody sees sense. Goodbye.